Roland Wallace, with his back, he is making progress. And then Josh Simmons ended up having surgery on that wrist for a fracture and a dislocation. He'll go on to IR, and then we'll just see about the recovery on that, where it goes from there. And then Trey and Juwan won't practice today, but they're making progress going forward. Look forward to the challenge of playing the Texans. A good football team. D'Amico's done a great job down there with that crew, and so we know we've got to have a good week of practice. And the guys were in here today, beginning that part. So, anyways, with that, time's yours. Sapoa, by the way, will take that spot. Yeah, he'll be the one elevated.
Coach, just on Josh's front, he's been through so much kind of stuff this year. How disappointing is it for him, and how's he kind of doing on the emotional side of this about having to go down for a while? Yeah,
so listen, the kid loves to play football, and that's that part. He's depressed about that part. Well, that's probably the wrong word to say, but he's down about that part. But he's upbeat. I mean, the surgery went well, which was a real positive, and so he feels good about that. And then it's just a matter of coming back. He's did a great job with his knee coming back. He's a worker, so he's whatever he can do to rehab it, he's going to do. That's just how he rolls. So, but yeah.
So the potential view here is hopefully have him available for the postseason. Is that what you're probably looking for?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. They've got to wait just a little bit on that, Herbie, and see how that goes with his recovery. But there's always that chance. Yeah.
And with Trey and Juwan, Jalen and Wanya probably the ones in line to step up. And Mike Elliott too. How have you seen them evolve over the course of the year in practice with the women's play time?
Yeah, I mean the one positive is two of the three of them played against them last year, so they did a good job. So they know what they're up against. That's a great defensive front. Great defense. I mean, all three levels are really good, and they're number one in a lot of categories there. So defensively, but those guys they're getting themselves ready to go. Yeah.
A couple of moving parts there now on the offensive line. Is Jalen Moore going to be the first man up over on left tackle, or are you visiting probably right tackle for him?
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with the injured guys first. But yeah, that would he'd probably be at the right tackle and Wanya at the left if that's the way it went. Yeah.
Coach, how important has Creed Humphrey been to these last couple of years?
Yeah, all pro helpful. He's a great player there, and a great person, stable. So you're going to get the same thing every day, and he's going to prep the same way every day, and he's dirty, tough, and strong. So smart.
Andy, when you look at just the fourth quarters that you guys have been in every game, even the ones that you've lost. So do you do something different to work on the execution in those moments?
Yeah, what we need to do is take care of some of the little things, the penalty things, to take you out of drives, so you're not scrambling, as you go there. You gotta clean that up, and then some of that I got to give the guys the right plays to try to execute to their strengths. So coaching's part of it, playing is part of it, and we all have a piece of that pie. But you surely, against good teams, you can't have this discrepancy or distance between the other team's penalties and your penalties. That shouldn't happen that way in a football game, right or wrong. So I'm not saying they're all correct. I'm just saying when one team's got a bunch and the other team, that's not good for anybody.
You guys were able to get away for 3 or 4 good days. I guess as you approach these last 5, what was the message to the team as you attack it?
Yeah, so it buys coaches time to go back and give them some answers to things, and which is positive, and then let's go. So you're in the month of December, and you're still in it. So let's go. That's what's important.
And you mentioned on Monday, how do you get the pass rush going?
Yeah, well, I can't tell you exactly, but I mean, we're going to try and make it better. To start with, you've got to win some individual battles, and but there are other things that Spags has that he uses there too. So.
You mentioned their defense gets after the quarterback pretty well. What specifically is it about Houston's defense that you've seen especially over this past little bit, where they've gotten hot?
Yeah, so well, it starts up front. They've got an active front, and I think their linebackers likewise are tuned in. They can run, tackle, very sound that way. Their back end, likewise, they've got talent on the back end. All three levels, they're solid. I think they all work together, so they've done a nice job.
Andy, on Monday you mentioned positive attitude a lot, attacking this with positive attitude. I'm sure there's times where you want to get the team going, kick them in the butt a little bit. Why is it important right now for you guys to maintain positivity through what you do?
I'm big on reality. What's real? Why are we where we are? What can we do to fix that? So that's what I look at, and try to give the guys that so they have something to work on. Likewise, as a coach, that's how I look at it for myself, for the coaches. Where are the problems, and let's work on fixing those. And if you do that, it takes your energy to get it right, and that's what we're striving to do.
I guess what do you see with the reality of this team right now?
Yeah, that we're very close. So we just got to take care of business. Whatever I say here, or whatever I say, it's what you do. That's where you're at. So you gotta do it and fix the issues there, because we're very close.
Matt?
One of the cases we could still see Nazi Johnson from injured reserve come back before the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll have to see on that, Matt. There's always that chance, but we'll have to see where that goes.
You mentioned Poles is taking sort of spot. I guess would you guys like to get him back here, and how confident are you in his ability?
Yeah, we thought we saw some talent there, and he knows the scheme, obviously, and we thought there was some growth. He could be a guy that works in somewhere. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.